has the strength of 1,000 men. He's the son of Zeus. Of course, we're talking about the mighty Hercules. That's the topic for today's episode. This is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. That's my closet, full of all the stuff that I love. And, I think I first came across Hercules back when the world was in black and white and my TV wasn't black and white. And as a kid, I'm watching the Three Stooges meet Hercules. Well, from then I started watching all these Hercules and Samson films that came on TV, and they were very entertaining, especially for a little kid. Years later, when I taught high school, of course, I created and developed a mythology class where we studied the 12 labors of Hercules, and we wrote about that, and etc. But today we're going to look at two Hercules films, same actor, same character, two different directors with wildly different approaches to the material. Let's check it out. Our first Hercules film is Hercules in the Haunted World. This is from 1961, and it's either 81, 84, or 86 minutes long, depending on which version you watch. I'll get to that a little bit later on. And it's in color. This is about Hercules' neighborhood is cursed, and as usual, and he has a task he has to perform, as usual, to fix things. This time he has to travel to Hades, which no man has ever come back from alive, and he battles a monster, various supernatural forces to set things right. Reg Park is a British actor who played Hercules. He was the second most popular Hercules after Steve Reeves. Steve Reeves is the one I really grew up on. But Reg Park made 5 films as Hercules. He's good in this. He was Mr. Universe 3 times. Obviously, he's a bodybuilder. And he was a mentor to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Christopher Lee, the great actor, shows up in this in a small part, but he's always welcome. And he's the villain. He's supposed to be a vampire, but he doesn't really show any vampire characteristics, except he has kind of a mind control thing over Hercules' girlfriend, Dianara. But, the real star of this film is the director, Mario Bava. I'm a big fan of his, and he was also the cinematographer for this film. He has a background as a painter, and it really shows in all his films from his bold choices of color. There's lots of eye candy in this, bold colors of green and magenta and red and blue and yellow throughout this film, basically, except for a couple of scenes. And even on the trees, the sky is blazing. The walls, the rocks, everything's got splashes of color on it. It's really something else. And there's some fog also in a lot of these scenes that give it a surreal, nightmarish, gothic look as well. He's, Mario Bava is most famous for his giallo films, which, if you don't know what those are, that's a whole different topic, but those are Italian horror films of the 60s and 70s, I believe. I have some of them back here. You can see I'm a big fan. And there's a box set of Bava back there. But his films like Bay of Blood, Blood and Black Lace, which is probably one of the best giallo films ever, and many others. Black Sunday, which was made right before this one, and Black Sabbath is another one that the band Black Sabbath, I believe, took their name from. So I don't know if this is very kid-friendly, because it gets kind of scary in some parts for a little kid. Little bit of a spoiler here. While he's in Hades, some of the dead come back to life, almost like zombies. So you'll see Hercules standing on the ground and arms reaching up out of the ground and grab his legs. You'll see zombies or the undead floating out of their coffins and flying towards Hercules. So it gets pretty crazy. The music also is really good in this. I don't recall who the composer was, but it's very effective at building mood, building suspense. I'm going to give Hercules in the Haunted World 4.5 muscles out of 5. A lot of fun. If you're a Mario Bava fan, I think you're really going to like this one, because he did make other films as well as giallo films. He made films like this. He made westerns. So what's on this disc? Well, you have 3 different versions of the film. A UK, a US, an Italian version, or a European version rather, and you can watch it dubbed in English, or you can watch it in the original Italian with English subtitles. There's an audio commentary as well, and this is a Kino disc. It looks very good. It sounds fine. It's going to be a little bit more than your regular Kino disc because there's 2 discs to hold all those movies. So when there's a Kino sale, they usually have stuff going for $9.99. I think this was like $11.99 during the sale. So where can you see Hercules in the Haunted World? Could be on YouTube. You can rent it. You can try your local library. And of course, you can always buy it. Our second Hercules film is Hercules and the Captive Women, even though there's really only one woman who's captive that he helps. This is from 1961, same year. This is 91 minutes long, and it is in color, and it's dubbed in English from the original Italian. So this one, once again, evil in Hercules' neighborhood. He's actually tricked into going to a land called Atlantis, where there's an evil queen overlooking everything, and he has to battle the queen and get back home and set everything right. It's similar to the first film I mentioned in a couple of ways. You still have Reg Park playing Hercules. You have a comic relief again, this time in the form of a little person named Timothea. This is dubbed in English, like I said, and this one is also filmed in Italy, just like the first film. Where it's different is quite a bit. It's a much more straightforward film. You're not going to have those Mario Bava stylistic flourishes in this film. It's very straightforward. It's more mythology based, so the dialogue is going to be sort of that stilted dialogue you get when you read mythology. Not very natural at all. It's a lot more grounded in reality. There are it's kind of a mix of fake and real special effects. Lots of extras, lots of elaborate sets in this one. I don't know what the budget was. It looks like it was fairly big. Lots of elaborate costumes as well. Much more family-friendly film, this one. There are a couple of set pieces that are quite good. One is this one weird scene where there's this pit full of all these men. They're like slaves, and they all have sort of like lesions on their face, like they're lepers or something. And they throw these dead skinned animals into the pit at one point to feed them, and I thought that was really kind of odd. And there's another scene where the queen decides to make a master race of warriors, and all these guys kind of look alike. They're very pale, and they have these weird, like no eyebrows, and these weird hooded eyes, and just very strange looking. Those two pieces are pretty good. The look of it, visually, is pretty washed out, and a lot of it, you're not going to get those bold colors. So it looks okay, and it sounds fine. I'm going to give this one 3.5 muscles out of 5. This is a film detective disc special edition. You have a commentary track. You have an intro by one of the creators of Mystery Science Theater 3000. There's also a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode on here showing this film. I'm not a big fan of that series, actually, but I can tell why they did it, because at one point Hercules has to find this rock that was formed by the blood of Uranus. So I'm sure they had a lot of fun, Mystery Science Theater, talking about Uranus, right? I can see where that was heading with that one. I watched like 30 minutes of this thing, of that Mystery Science Theater thing. There's also a documentary about Hercules in the cinema. It's about 20 minutes long, very good. There's a booklet that's about 10 pages long that's about the history of Hercules in the cinema. That's very good as well. They also mentioned that in the documentary, something I've heard, some people call these peplum films, and I never liked that. Peplum referring to the type of clothing Hercules wears, and I always thought that was kind of weird. Why would you call a genre of film after clothing? And just call it a myth film or a Hercules film or a sword and sandal film. But even in the documentary, they say peplum is kind of a put down, kind of derogatory. So anyways, I don't like that term peplum. So like I said, this looks kind of washed out in some places. It's okay. It's not going to really knock your socks off visually. Sounds fine. Where can you see this? You can buy it. You can rent it. I got this one on sale for $11.99 through MVD. I think right now it probably goes for like $20. And you can try YouTube as well. So Hercules. Now, do I need another genre of film to start watching? I don't know. There are a couple of Samson films I'm kind of interested in, so we'll see how far that goes. But feel free to leave a comment down there. Maybe you've seen some Hercules films, or you did in the past and you want to check them out again. Leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. share this with your friends and neighbors. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.